Take a hard look at your training. Are you actually recruiting those high-threshold, fast-twitch muscle fibers, or are you just moving fast? It's a remarkably common illusion. You throw a lightweight around explosively, assuming speed equals power. But as we're going to deconstruct in this explainer today, external speed means absolutely nothing if the internal mechanical tension doesn't demand it. Your nervous system is ruthlessly efficient. It won't tap into its most powerful reserves just because you're using momentum. We are going to look strictly at the biological reality of how we adapt, how we grow, and how we finally shatter this illusion of speed. Section 1. The biological deconstruction. We're looking closely at hypertrophy, ischemia, and the size principle. This is about absolute biological optimization and pushing human limits. Let's contrast two vastly different realities. When you heave light weights with momentum, your muscle fibers undergo incredibly low internal force. Sure, the external movement is explosive, but biologically, the tension is practically non-existent. Now contrast that with a truly heavy load, say pushing past 80% of your max, or driving a lighter weight to absolute agonizing failure. What biologically happens? The movement involuntarily grinds to a halt. That involuntary grind is everything. That is where internal force peaks. That is the exact mechanical tension required to force an adaptation. This isn't just a theory. It is an undeniable neurological law known as Henneman's size principle. Your central nervous system is essentially a master of energy conservation. It recruits motor units in a strict, non-negotiable sequence. It starts with the small, fatigue-resistant Type I slow-twitch fibers. It will only call upon the massive, high-growth potential Type II fast-twitch fibers if forced. You literally cannot skip the line. To access those high-threshold fibers, you must override the system with extreme external loads or push the muscle to total, undeniable failure. But what if heavy loads aren't an option? You engineer what we call the ischemic cage. You do this by maintaining absolute, continuous tension on a muscle. No resting at the top, no locking out joints. The mechanics here are brutal but fascinating. By sustaining that unbroken tension, even at a mere 30% of your max, you physically collapse the local blood vessels. You trap the muscle. It becomes a closed metabolic environment. Intramuscular occlusion, afferent nerve sensitization, and reactive hyperemia. Let's dissect exactly what is happening inside that cage. Once trapped, the muscle undergoes severe sarcoplasmic acidification. Because you've crushed the blood vessel shut, oxygen can't enter, and metabolic waste cannot escape. Lactic acid and hydrogen ions violently accumulate. This highly toxic environment severely sensitizes your Type 3 and 4 muscle afferent nerves. To you, it feels like agonizing pain. Biologically, your slow-twitch fibers are literally choking and failing. Your brain is panicking. To sustain the contraction, it has zero choice but to recruit those dormant Type 2 fast-twitch fibers. For real-world proof of this biological hack, look at the protocol from fitness practitioner Keith Gym Life. His setup is completely minimalist, body weight and household chairs. But his execution is mathematically perfect. By avoiding joint lockouts during his movements, he never lets the tension drop. Step 1. Continuous tension. Step 2. Sarcoplasmic acidification. Step 3. Forced fast-twitch fiber recruitment. He is artificially inducing that ischemic cage, proving that extreme biological adaptation requires physiological discipline, not heavy iron or commercial equipment. This ruthless efficiency extends to his fuel. Keith employs a highly optimized diet costing roughly 120 rupees a day. He entirely rejects the illusion of heavily marketed, expensive supplements. Instead, he relies strictly on highly bioavailable whole foods, soya chunks, boiled eggs, paneer. It's a stark biological truth. Your anatomy only processes raw, macro, and micronutrients. It doesn't care about the brand name on the tub. Consistent physiological discipline will outscale expensive shortcuts every single time. But there is a profound psychological cost to this method. As documented in the International Journal of Strength and Conditioning, the presence of substantial CNS fatigue, both supraspinal and spinal, will reduce motor unit recruitment, impacting our ability to recruit the highest threshold motor units. What does that actually mean for you? It means when the ischemic burn peaks, your central nervous system floods your brain with supraspinal fatigue signals. It begs you to lock out. It screams at you to drop the weight. The true battle isn't muscular, it's overriding your brain's deeply ingrained homeostatic protective mechanisms. If you possess the mental mastery to endure that cage, the biological reward is instantaneous. The moment you finally release that relentless tension, local vascular pressure drops to zero. This triggers reactive hyperemia. A profound, forceful surge of nitric oxide and nutrient-dense blood violently re-enters the starved muscle tissue. This drives extreme sarcoplasmic volume expansion. You combine that immense cellular swelling with the mechanical tension you just forced onto those fast-twitch fibers, and you have synthesized the ultimate environment for hypertrophy. So, we must fundamentally recontextualize our perception of pain. That agonizing, localized burn of lactic acid is not a signal to stop. It is the strict, rational metric of biological adaptation. Henneman's size principle is an absolute law. The ischemic cage is a proven biological mechanism. The only variable remaining in this equation is you. The next time you lock yourself inside that ischemic cage, the question is simple. Will you allow your brain to protect you into mediocrity, or will you force